Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Okay, let's go to Sri Ram and Joanne.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey. Was able to come to Satsang today. I didn't think it would be possible, but yeah, it's very good. Wanted to report on the past couple of weeks of just staying lightly with this heart space area. It's been a bit of a mix of like at the beginning was just real some kind of like just determination somehow like this, and I could really see the difference of a situation that could end in tears not, and seeing that distance there, but it was really like breaking through something, like it just felt so unnatural, shall we say, until it wasn't. Yeah. And then there's some moments where it just feels like it's too difficult and I can't do it. I can't do it. There's someone trying to do it. It doesn't feel like it's working, or expecting to fill this space and then getting like really distraught, and even to the point of like, I can't do anything else. I can't speak. I just need to stay here. Like this kind of almost this desperation of like, stay. Yeah. And this morning, the mind has been quite full on with this, like you think this, you believe this is why you feel this anxiety, this fear, very unpleasant things that it's saying, but this anxiety and this fear is very familiar territory to set up camp in. So it does feel a bit pulley. Yeah, I just wanted to report. And I did send you a message. But
okay.
yeah, but it's a lot nicer like this. So yeah, of course. That I can come up to you. So,
Very good, Nachalam. First, I want to say you're doing very well. Okay, so nothing that I'm going to say should be construed as if you're not doing well. Okay, and it's just further guidance in terms of how to just quote unquote deepen in what you're doing. So just to set some context for everyone so that everyone's part of the conversation in some way, I often say just remain open and empty. When you're open and empty, you see, it's win-win. It's win-win because your true nature as pure awareness is fully apparent to you. It's fully apparent to you. And also the taste of the world is beautiful. You see, not that you're feverish about it or attached to it, but you notice light for the first time. You notice sound for the first time. You see, so everything becomes a lot more alive as you're open and empty. You see? Now, what do you lose? You lose one thing, you see, which is the ability to put this in a narrative. Because as you're fully open and empty, you're in pure perception. And pure perception is impossible to include in the narrative. Then we said, yes, there will be times where pure perception seems very difficult because the mind will come with things like, but I need an answer. This is for work. This is important. You see, you need to do this now. So this idea that I have to do something or what's happening to me or these kind of notions may seem like they have some value. You see? So what to do then? So for that, I've suggested that since you're going with an apparent problem seeming real, then don't go with the troublemaker, the problem maker for the solution as well. You see? So accept that your mind has the ability to ask these questions, but it has no ability to answer them. You see? It has the ability to ask these questions, but it has no ability to answer them. So you go to your intuitive insight for the answer. Everyone with me so far? Nothing. It's just open and empty. But in those times where it seemed like, but this is something, but this is something, then go to the heart for the answer. This is the intelligence where you know that you exist, where you even recognize music, you recognize love. Your mind cannot understand these things. But I've given you a fail-safe solution to recognize how to realize whether you're being intuitive or you're being mental. You see? What is that fail-safe solution? Ask yourself if you're aware now and stay with that where you know the answer. It's not a conceptual answer. It is not a perceptual answer. It is a deeper place. So this heart, this intuitive insight is not actually the physical region of the heart. But sometimes, for some of you, you may feel like, you see, the mind gravitation and the attraction becomes too strong. It seems too compelling and too true. You see? So in those cases, I've even suggested that you can rest your attention in the heart region. You can even rest your attention in the heart region. Only if you feel like the mind is powerful like this at times. You see, and you yourself, your heart itself can be the judge of that, whether you need that or not. See? So what Joanna is saying is that I'd given her this homework that stay with the heart region. And then she's reporting about what all has happened. Now, one thing I may have also said is that don't evaluate.
Yeah.
You see? You see? And it's fine. It's very natural for us because progress is sort of a deep part of our condition at the moment, where it feels like I need to be able to self-evaluate. And that is the only way I can come to some progress or get further along in this. But you'll notice that these evaluative tendencies are just conditions from the mind. So now, but I may have also said, but you come and tell me what is happening. You see? So it may seem like a contradiction. You see? So now, can we try? So recognize that when you're taking yourself to be the limited me, then you're using the mind as an instrument. You see? How to know you're being intuitive? When what you are is apparent to you. So let's experiment with this. Are you aware now?
Yeah.
You are aware now. Now, where this answer was apparent, give me a report from there. Don't rush, we have time. Don't be shy and don't feel like I'll sound arrogant. Don't worry about sounding arrogant.
There isn't anything there to say of anything that I've been talking about. Yeah.
How real does your limited life seem now? When I say limited life, I mean that the identity, the story, the narrative, how real does that seem? Don't go to your head for the answer. Just stay with this.
I mean, it doesn't it doesn't apply like to this.
Doesn't apply. What is yesterday for you?
It's a word, nothing. I'm not even that.
Now, suppose Sri Ram starts talking, okay?
Mm.
He just starts talking and he is talking about some girl called Joanna. What does that mean for you?
No, right here
Yes.
doesn't. It's not.
Yes. And I know it can seem a bit like there's like something pulling, something pulling, but we're just neglecting that. We're not bothering so much with it. So it can feel a bit like that. Now, is this what you're experiencing? Is it a question of here or there?
No.
Is it a special state?
Oh, the mind has little something on the outside to say that, but no, it's before the mind coming in, so it's just here.
Is it something for you or something for you to do?
No.
Who are you here?
It feels hard to answer a bit. Somehow.
Some mixing can happen. Some mixing can happen. Don't worry. Just take your time again. Rest in your heart. Relax fully. Don't worry. There are no right or wrong answers.
Some other things are, yeah.
See?
Maybe some other things are like trying to creep in.
Yeah, but just notice them lightly. Don't bother with them. I promise you, I guarantee you that they do not bring any truth into your life. So what are we doing here? We're recognizing that there are two different instruments. There are two different instruments. One instrument is like a storyteller. It has the limited identity at the center of the story. And all it can do is tell stories. It is just determining the nature of what this is, what is happening to you, what is better, what is worse. It is just story. The other instrument is intuition, your heart, where anything that is valuable, that is true, is known only here. It is from here that you recognize your being. It is here that you recognize awareness. Love, joy, truth. Even some of you are enjoying this music without understanding a word of it. So it is not in your head that you are enjoying it. So something intuitively resonates. So that where self is known, without needing any concept, without needing any effort, without needing any mechanics, without needing any purpose, there everything is known. It is not as if, oh, that is where you go to in satsang because there self is only known. There is only the self. There is nothing to be known outside of the self. So don't allow your mind to create a category which says, no, no, but that is satsang. But when I have to work, when I have to send an email or I have to talk to my boss, then I need to become mental. That is just not true. And over the years, we've taken so many examples of this intelligence, how it moves this whole universe and all the organisms in this universe so beautifully. Now the mind will offer you something which tells you this is what's happening. Tell me if this is what's happening, you take it to be true. But it should cover everything that is happening right now. What is happening? What is this? If you take a limited definition of what is happening, then you will take yourself to be limited. Tell me everything that's happening. Every experience, every phenomena, every vibration, every sensation. Capture the entirety of a story, if of your story in a narrative if you can. Otherwise, don't capture it at all.
Yeah, this with the capturing, making comments of this, that, and the other is just an area I know.
So just notice that, but don't use anything to beat yourself up with. So these observations, you just observe them, but you don't take them personally.
Just they can feel very like they're coming from you, really personal.
That which feels like or just seems like is Maya. That which just seems like or feels like. Maya is designed to feel like. So if you just keep going with, but this feels like, it feels true, it feels alive, it feels like this, it seems like that. You see? Are you aware now? Does it feel like or seem like?
Just is.
So go with that, that just is, not just because it feels like or seems like. This whole world is a big seeming. And if you keep going with, but it feels like, which is just like saying it seems so true, it seems like, then you keep following for that trickster, which is just the narrator of what feels like, but not what is. It can feel strange because we were taught initially in spirituality that don't go with your head. You see, just follow your feelings. Your feelings will guide you. That's utter bunkum. Don't follow your feel.
No.
You're feeling like a crazy bull. You keep dancing like just all over the place. So don't go with that kind of spirituality. You see, don't follow your head. Don't follow your feelings. Just follow your heart. And your heart is not the center of feeling. It is the center of the universal intelligence called intuition. And you have no excuses left. You see, because over many years, we've tried to demystify this intuition, and now it is just the pointer is very clear. Where it is apparent that you are aware, that is your intuition.
And when it comes of feeling and doubtful thoughts and feelings that just nothing is working, nothing's happening, this is too strong.
Yeah. What to do with that when it comes? Okay, let's take both the scenarios. Huh?
Just rest.
In the first scenario, take it to be true. Just take it to be true. All this you are trying, nothing is working. Yes. Now, what does that do? So one seeming taken to be true leads to another seeming which all of us are here to cure. And that seeming is called suffering. You see, that seeming is called identity. What do you want to juggle along with self-knowledge?
Nothing, actually. I don't know where
Like
it's.
Joanna, how are you going to run this life?
There may be it. Yeah, there's something with this, the doer, that doership of it still, of like trying to do something. Yeah.
If you did everything that you could, where would it get you? Would your awareness become more aware? Would your being become more being?
No, it becomes like this. Have to do this, and it goes to that extreme. Like, don't talk. I was literally saying to you, like, don't speak. I can't speak because if I speak, it's just the mind. I need to just stay here. It was just getting a bit too much. This over intensive.
You know, what is the root of all of this? Is the evaluative tendency.
Mm.
You see? If you make a state out of this, then you'll make a state out of its opposite. And both will seem personal. Whose awareness is this? Are you a Joanna being aware? Are you a Joanna being aware? You see? Because if that seems like it is true, and that seems like we take to be true, then you will also take yourself to be a Joanna which is not aware, that is being mindy. You see? So if the Joanna or whatever identity you take yourself to be becomes the primary, which is then going to the awareness state and then the mind state. You see?
A little of this. This sounds a bit, yeah.
So don't worry. You see, right now, show me Joanna. Who does this awareness belong to? Where will you go for this answer? That is more important than the answer itself.
Because it's like, I don't want this to be the mind answering, but that's also the mind saying that.
The thief rescues the policeman.
It just is. It's better not to give it's evaluation. Better not to pause for too long, I was going to say.
Don't make any conclusion.
Oh, please just get rid of this one.
It's gone. It's completely up to you. And Mahesh asked for this question a little earlier. You see, when I say it's up to you as consciousness. See, Satsang is consciousness speaking with consciousness. Only consciousness is here. There is nobody else. So consciousness is playing this leela, this game of identification and disidentification. So your being has full power. You can never say, but this has too much power. The mind is too strong. Is it too strong for whom? It cannot be stronger than the being itself.
Because it is being a bit like this. But as you were saying, who sees it?
What will you do without an evaluation of yourself? Why do I evaluate so much? I keep evaluating. No, that's also an evaluation.
Yes.
Okay, stay with me, my child. Stay with me. Just look at me. Allow everything which is conditioning, narrative, evaluation to just come in. See, I can continue on this. Was that closing the eyes so that you could get some time to evaluate? It happens here sometimes. We sometimes play this game. Just stay with me. Fresh, like that. You were here one time when we played? No, I don't. So, like this. Then it's, no, I have to meditate. There's something to this, and I realize that. But
No, it's like if there's nothing, then if I just close my eyes for a minute, maybe it has an effect. They're all funny.
let all thoughts come in. Tell me the one that grabs you as it grabs you. Can you already notice that you're no longer in pure perception when you're trying to think or trying to evaluate?
Mm.
See, right now, I'll tell you one.
That was then.
Good. Okay, right now, stay here. Okay. Stay, it's okay. Stay. Now, stay. Okay, stay. The mind will create notions of time and taking time. Don't worry. No, stay still. It's okay. Allow everything to move within this openness. If the mouth has to speak, it has to speak from here. Otherwise, no speak. No, not there. Observe the attraction to attention. Your eyes start to move. You start to try to evaluate what's going on. What's going on.
Value.
To evaluate is to determine value. To determine meaning is to evaluate. So we got stuck in this evaluative tendency, because this is what we can put in the narrative, the meaning that we can put in the story. All these words are being naturally heard. You don't have to think about them. You don't have to understand them. It's seeming quite natural. No?
Yeah, just something's asking like just from here, like only trust just from here.
No.
So,
Just to every evaluation, no.
no, meaning from like from here, but that doesn't need someone to say trust from here.
No.
Just very fast for her will come with like, yeah, I'm not here. Or like,
See again?
just very fast for her will come, but she's not there. Or like just to observe just from here. So
No, not just,
stop.
yeah, but I'm just telling her that not even that, nothing. Do you have to determine this? You see, do you have to determine this? You can
No.
understand, you don't have to. You see, in the world, we become deeply conditioned to the idea that we need to understand. And in the idea of trying to understand, we've stopped experiencing life. All of us just living in our heads. This beautiful movie plays out, the entire movie, 50, 60, 70, 80 years of a movie plays out. We've missed most of it because we're just living in our heads.
But now it's why were you asking about that? Is it because of this thought, this kind of
All that why is pointless. There is no why to anything. What does it mean to be mental? Just trying to convert this experience into like a mental idea, mental truth, which we can't do. So is it like this? No. Is this what's happening to me? No. You see? Just observe the gravitation of conclusion. You see? And just let it go. No. Is your body having any trouble with this? Don't go to your head. I'm just asking naturally. You see? It's just naturally existing. Your being has no trouble. Your body has no trouble. The world has no trouble. Nothing is troublesome. Just this is to be headless. Nothing is needed. Nothing is needed. You don't need to understand. The mind will say, now what? Don't bother with that. Okay, let me now talk to you at the end of Satsang if you're still here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Someone in the chat said, what is our purpose in our life? Should we evaluate? Of course not. You see, the you know what I've been saying? Life is not a pencil that it has to have a point. All of us are just searching for this. What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life? Life. We're missing life and trying to find its meaning. Forget about meaning. Purpose. Purpose is a very funny notion. Okay, let's go to Ananda. She's been waving a bit. Namaste.
Namaste, beloved Father.
Namaste, Matya. Namaste.
Thank you. This is my first time
Welcome.
to be in the presence. I'm very honored and privileged.
Very welcome.
I'm very much, the attention very much in mine at the moment. Been following you, and you're so beautiful. It's just the seeing and everything was so clear and so much peace and so much guidance. But up until 2 days ago, the dynamic life went upside down, and very much haven't been. The attention is very much now in the head, a lot of movement, and I'm in a panic at the moment. And there's a fear of closing the eyes because there's so much movement and heart and anxiety in the body.
Okay,
and
so
a fear that I lost myself because I've been following Guruji for the past 5 years and gave my life to this. and there's only God, and there's only this, and there's been such seeing and beauty and clarity, and now there's a question, why is this happening right now? You know, what's happening? What do I do?
I'm with you. Don't worry. So right now, you see, just describe as innocently as possible what is being perceived without explaining or putting it into any story or narrative.
Okay. Like as if there's trembling, like I can see that it's the seeker. It's in a panic.
Okay.
The mind's in a panic.
Let's go really slowly. Yes, we have all the time in the world. Don't worry at all about anything. So,
thank you.
very good. So you notice that there is a trembling. No? That is exactly the kind of description that I want. Because everything after that was speculation.
Okay.
And after that was just speculation. I want to know what is your direct perception at this moment.
There's just trembling and anxiety and just a trembling inside, like a fear, like restlessness.
Yes. So there's trembling, fear similar to the trembling, and restlessness, I guess, also is similar to the trembling.
Anxiety, yes.
So there's just this experience. Now, this experience itself, we are removing the experience from any idea or any label of what this is. You see, trembling is good enough as a label. We don't need to add any other label at the moment. You see? So now there is some trembling happening. Notice the space in which it is happening. Just notice, just perceive that. Don't describe to yourself, don't narrate. Just notice the trembling and the space in which it is happening.
I can feel myself as the space, but
But now that is also going too far. You have to really slow down. Just
okay.
You see? Everything is contained in the instruction. We don't need to add anything to that. You see, there is a sensation of a trembling, and the trembling is happening in an apparent space. You see, it is happening in an apparent space. You see, that's all we need to notice at the moment. We don't need to understand what is happening. We don't need to label anything else. Just notice this.
There's a lot of sensations in the body at the moment, like eye movement and vibrating, and and there's a fear of closing the eyes to feel it.
Yes. So all the sensations. So let's just include trembling also in sensations. So these sensations are being experienced, they're being perceived. And it is also apparent that there is a space in which all of these sensations are happening. We are not labeling that space, we are not doing anything with it, we are just noticing. Now, just notice for yourself with the innocence of a child, without any mental understanding, no spirituality, nothing. Just notice for yourself and tell me if that space is being affected by these sensations.
No.
That space is not being affected by these sensations. Are the sensations touching anything else except this space?
They don't touch the space, but if there's a...
Don't speculate.
Okay, the attention is just pulled into the sensation so much.
Say that part again, my dear.
The attention is so much pulled into the sensations.
Yes. Let the attention be pulled into the sensation. Let that be attention's job at the moment. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So attention can be on the sensations, but the fact is that even if attention is so much in the sensation, it is apparent that these sensations are happening in a space, isn't it?
The biggest fear that's coming up is because there's been so much clarity of seeing. I always had my seeing. It feels like I'm blind when I close my eyes. Don't know if that makes sense.
No, 1 second. That's again going too far.
Okay.
That is to include this in a narrative. And I'm giving you the medicine to free you from your suffering. But the instant we position what is happening in the moment for us into a sequence which is time and space, which means the story, the narrative, then suffering is inevitable. See, just very innocently be in a noticing of the perceptions that are happening, of the sensations that are being perceived. Notice that by themselves, they don't carry a meaning, they don't carry a story.
No.
And you don't have to understand them. You see, the mind will give you so many offers which will claim an understanding over these. But you are not to go with those offers. Just allow the thoughts to come and go. It's okay. Remain in this pure perception. Is there somebody there that you can perceive that the sensation or perception is hurting or harming in some way?
No, not now.
But I found that answer was a bit conditional, because in that also was the presumption of time, you see, which is not your experience at this moment.
Okay.
It is just a fear that what if it comes back?
Yes, yes.
So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just right now, are these perceptions or sensations hurting anybody?
No.
So can they not be allowed to dance if they don't hurt the space where they happen and there is nobody that they are hurting?
Yes.
Is attention going to them causing any problem to anybody? From your perception, don't go with your narrative or speculation.
No.
So allow attention to be fully free. Continue to observe these sensations and very naturally answer this question for me. Are you aware or no?
Yes.
So self-knowledge is completely there. Even in the play of these sensations, you have not lost yourself. Just observe that you are aware is apparent to you, no matter what attention may be on. It is not a functioning of attention.
There's a lot of thoughts. That's why there's fear to close the eyes.
Allow these thoughts to just be another perception. Let attention also go to them. Don't worry about anything.
The more there's allowance of this, the stronger the sensation comes in the body.
Don't worry. Is
Okay.
there somebody that is being perceived, that is being hurt by the strength of these sensations?
Okay.
Is the space in the room concerned about how many people are sitting in it?
No.
The same way, the space in which the sensations are perceived is unconcerned about what is playing out. None of these sensations have inherent meaning. In fact, no perception has inherent meaning.
Okay. A lot of noise.
Yes. Who is that hurting? Who is that affecting?
My imagination.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. So now if you meet this as if you have a story, you've been in Satsang 5 years and you had clarity and all of that, you see, then all of this appearance in the mental narrative can affect that, can attack that shape. You see? But
Yes.
if you don't meet it with that shape, if you don't meet it with any history, any baggage, any time, everything is allowed.
Yes, I hear you.
Yes. Very good. Very good. But
Is it all, sorry. Is it all right? Because when I listen to Guruji, he always says, don't give the mind any, or even don't give the mind its attention, but it feels like there's so much that needs to, that I need to expose a little bit of it. Is that okay, or is that, or shouldn't expose it?
you have to follow your heart moment to moment. There's no template to life or what you should do. Just allow your heart to guide you moment to moment.
I just want to be vulnerable because I notice that when I'm vulnerable right now, the more everything feels like love, I feel held.
But what is happening is, it may seem like a useful exercise to sort of capture this into the construct of vulnerability and love. You see? But this moment which was being experienced did not need that construct.
No.
You see? So who needs that construct?
The imagination.
Exactly. The same
Yes.
narrative, the same
Yes,
story,
the same one.
because you cannot include the moment in what is happening in the narrative. You can only include the conversion of the moment into conceptual knowledge, which is right now I'm vulnerable, and then when I'm vulnerable, I experience love. You see, but that has nothing to do with you.
Yes, I see that.
Very good, very good. I like the way we meet because you're with me, you know.
Yes, I hear. Oh, it's like you're inside me. I can hear you.
Very good, very. So don't have to understand, and that's
Okay.
the theme of satsang today. That
Thank you.
even our highest seeming narratives, you see, even our highest seeming conclusions, or the most useful sounding ones, we don't actually need. And today's conclusions, which are the highest seeming and most helpful, are going to be the cause for suffering tomorrow. You see, because you will frame yourself in that construct and say, when I'm vulnerable, I feel love. You see? And then a moment will come tomorrow where the mind will say, see, you're not being vulnerable, that's why the love is gone.
Yes, it does. Yes.
You see, so it plays in this way that anytime the unlimited presents itself or takes itself to be in the construct of any limited notions, then the opposite of that limited notion will come and attack you. And this is called suffering. If you don't take a conceptual shape at all, what can be attacked?
Nothing can.
Yeah. So you just get used to rejecting the invitations from the mind. Although initially it may seem like, at least I should RSVP or something. But now you just get used to it.
But the question, the thought's coming because every time, it's just, don't know how to say this, but life is really grabbing the outside, the dynamic life. Son has COVID, and life is pulling me out of my space where I've been just, honoring myself in peace.
I'm very happy he's doing that, because
why?
it may sound like bad news, but I'm telling you that me is not you.
I know, but he has nowhere to hide anymore. I know that. The doors are closing. And I've been running for the past few months.
The doors are closing on the false one. Is that good news or bad news?
It's good news, but there's fear. Not that there's fear. Okay. And at night, when I have this fear, I hold your hand, and I hold Guruji's hand, and it goes away. But I don't want to hide anymore. I just want to be myself.
This one you give to me.
Gladly.
Don't be concerned. You can either be concerned or have a guru. What's the point of having a guru if you're going to keep your concern?
I want to give it to you.
Don't have a guru and a problem. You can have one.
Thank you.
Very good. You see, all that we take as if it is happening to me is just construct from the mind. No perception has the power to hurt you. You just saw that. Every perception can come. All attention can even seemingly go to that. You see? But nobody's getting hurt in that process except our story about ourselves, except our idea of where we've been and the progress we've made and what is to us. All of that can get attacked, and I'm very happy it gets attacked, because otherwise you will take that to be your reality and you will miss this.
When it's being attacked, the identity locks. And
you don't know this stuff. Do you know this?
I've heard because my mind has been listening to Satsang all these years.
Exactly.
And my mind is repeating like a record, all the Satsangs.
Yeah. See, you know this stuff, but where you truly know it in your heart, there is no diagnosis or report or trouble. No. Where you have understood it conceptually, that becomes the spiritual version of the mind.
Yes.
And then that one pretends to be your guide and offer you your condition right now is like this, and this is what is happening to you, and this is what you need to do. You see, it's all made up stuff.
How do I give my life to you? I just want to give my life to you.
Yes.
I want to give my attachment to my son to you. I just want to give it all. Surrender it all.
The moment you open and empty, you are surrendered. Open means everything can come. All perceptions can be perceived. Empty means non-grasping. Everything that comes will naturally go.
That's a big one.
But when we grasp, especially grasp at the narrative, the meaning of things, the purpose of things, then we are getting stuck in taking ourselves to be the limited entity, which never existed.
It grasps at others, other Sangha members, like a drowning.
Don't grasp at these conclusions now.
Okay. Thank you.
So what I've told you is not meant to make a personal report card, and that's what I was telling Joanna also earlier. You see, this is how the spiritual ego will operate. It will use what it is hearing in satsang to become an oppressive evaluator of spirituality. You see?
Okay.
Or a special. exponent of spirituality. Either a special oppressor which uses spiritual knowledge to beat you up, or make it seem as if there's something very special happening there, which is
Yes.
spiritual and things, and both will happen. It will set you up for that, and then it'll chop you. So then
Yes.
you're playing roller coaster game. Now, don't take any of its narratives to be real,
Okay.
neither special, nor anything spiritual, nor anything that you can actually place and say, this is what is happening to me. We cannot place this moment in a construct. You see? Then how is it that we are able to place our life in a construct? You see? You cannot place this moment in a construct. Tell me about this moment fully.
It's nothing.
You see, it's not true that it's nothing also. No construct is possible as a definition of this. And yet, although we see right now that not one moment is definable, we're quick to define years of our life. Do you notice? So that is just the conditioning which forces us to feel that unless I have a narrative about what is happening to me, I'm not leading a meaningful life or going towards a meaningful life. And that is why spirituality has got confused with meaning. Don't value any notion which is presuming to tell you about yourself. That is to remain open and empty.
To allow all the images and the stories and
Yes,
allow it all.
everything to play out. Be like the space in the room that is unconcerned by who is visiting, what is happening.
It's okay to allow the panic to come as well.
Yes, as long as you don't associate strongly with the notion that panic is happening. See, meet every moment fully fresh. You have never stepped into the same river twice. So to say that this is anxiety, this is panic, is actually an avoidance from the full meeting. Because you want to judge it so that you have a handle or control over what's happening.
Yes.
You don't need that judgment because you are the space. Actually, you're beyond even that space, but for now it's okay. You can live without knowing.
Yes.
That is true knowledge. You can live in self-knowledge which your heart knows without having to translate anything into conceptual understanding. Where do you know that you are aware? Where do you know that you exist?
Don't know. Just know.
Are you aware?
Yes.
Did you have to go to the mind to confirm this?
No.
So that is where you have to live. It's not a spatial place. It's not a place where you can define and say, just a little to the left of the heart. You see, nothing like that. It is the instant where you're not going to your head for answers, you're being intuitive.
This is where the but comes. I know the famous but it comes in and says, okay, I live like this, but what to do now when the Satsang is over and son is calling and no groceries and the dog is barking?
Yeah.
What to do?
Experiment with me and you see if without giving into the stories, the narratives, the meanings, whether life can still continue to play out or you become like a vegetable sitting on the bed or something.
I've been a vegetable sitting on the bed the last few months.
Then that is fun itself.
I didn't know what to do.
The place, okay, one final tip for you. The place where you don't know, you can never know. Where you do know already, you can never not know.
And don't fear the fear.
The place where you don't know, like you don't know whether you have to fear the fear or don't fear the fear. So providing an answer there will not help because that answer will just be taken as a concept, isn't it?
Yes.
Now we're going really subtle and really deep.
Okay.
Chopping the root of all identity and conditions and all of this play of identification. You see? Now, this is the trouble with the human condition. There is an instrument called the mind, you see, which has the ability to ask these questions, the big questions. Why is this happening to me? What should I do? What is the meaning of life? You see? But it's just a bundle of concepts. It cannot assimilate an answer. You see? So it just plays concept with these questions. So it feels like I know something because my master told me this is the meaning. You see? So it feels like, what is the meaning of life? That is the highest question I can ask. And the master says, blah, 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 blee, 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 blue, blue. It's the meaning of life. Oh, I found the answer. No, you didn't find the answer. You just got a concept. You see? So what I'm pointing to will take your idea of what life is away from this conceptual version of playing life into the actual meeting with life. I actually living from the heart where everything is known. You can try this. You can take a question like, what should I do next? Or what will happen to me after satsang? What am I supposed to do? Any of these, and give it to the same place where you ask the question, am I aware now? And don't rush into anything. Do not feel that where the self is apparent, which is impossible for the mind to reach. Then that is only for that. Anything that seems to trouble you, you can take it to that. Otherwise, we're just playing a conceptual game. The mind will say, what do I do? And doership, of course, is just a concept. And then the response will come, do this, like that. And it may feel very satisfactory to the mind. Okay, Ananta answered me straight for the first time. He gave me a straight answer or something like that. But it's nothing but words. You did not get an answer. You just got some words which can seem like they are some conceptual band-aid to the suffering of the question, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Oh, do this. Some relief because at least the beeping of the question went away. It's like the constant phone which is beeping, which you can't really answer. And you feel like this is it. So it feels like it went away. You see, but it doesn't actually go away. It doesn't actually go away. It actually got fed to give it more power tomorrow. So I'm not indulging that game so much. not indulging that game so much, so that you find that which is beyond these narratives, these conceptual notions, the presumptions about what life is, and the solutions to those notions. Just step away from all of that construction activity and live in your heart.
It is that simple.
You don't have to understand. In that conclusion that is it that simple? It can't be that simple, is it? Who are we still catering to? Who wants to understand whether it is simple or difficult? Still catering to the guy who's playing concept. Is it simple or difficult? What is simple or difficult? Do we know? Is it? We just have these labels and notions, and then we try to determine whether life and spirituality is in those constructs. Just throw them away. Everything that has an opposite, throw it away. If the mouth needs to communicate something to someone, it will show up from the heart. Don't worry. Are we going like too far today, or you're okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Father, would it be okay to continue guiding?
Yes, of course, my dear. Of course.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So welcome. So welcome.
Thank you so much, love. Thank you.
All thank you. Take the highest idea about your life. You see? Take the highest idea about your life and just throw it in the garbage can. Don't even make it sound poetic. I'm not even going to say burn it in the fire or something. I've said this often, but today I just like, you're not even going to be poetic about it. It's not even worthy of fire. Just throw it in a garbage can. Your highest idea cannot meet one moment of heart insight. Your highest idea cannot capture one moment of heart insight. You can try and building all the ideas you want, become the highest learned, as they say here, spiritual practitioner who's read all the scriptures and everything, get all the highest ideas, stuff them into your head. But all of that does not count for one moment of true insight. You're just troubling yourselves with those. Troubling yourselves with those. It can feel a bit scary because you can feel like, but I've invested so much in that. I spent so many years learning this stuff. Now you say, throw it away. So if you made a mistake, you see, just to make that mistake not seem like a mistake, should we just keep committing that mistake over and over? Okay, let me just mute everyone. It's just like saying, they were saying, good money chasing bad money. Stop doing that. You will not resolve your life. You cannot solve your life. Life is not a problem, it is not a pencil, it is none of these things. Stop meeting life head first. When we stop meeting life head first, then you meet life heart first. Whatever you think is happening to you, or is your life's condition right now, just forget about it. It's not true. Meet it fully instead of trying to hide from it by constructing an idea of what is happening to you. It's ironic that when I say forget about it, you see, that may sound like a denial. I am saying the opposite. Don't meet it through some preconceived lens of what you think is happening. Meet it. See? So what is denial? Denial is to hide from it and say, yeah, I know what is happening. This is this. That is a hiding. You meet it fully. Do you need to label it? I don't need to label it. You see, I don't need to label this. So often I keep saying, I don't have to say this is glass, this is water, and yet I can drink from it. So in the mind, the idea of denial is upside down. I say, don't label glass and water. Right. He's denying the glass and water. No, I'm saying meet it fully. Then why do you need the label? Is there a glass on the table? Of course not. The glass is just a construct I am using to insert it into my story. I don't need to call this glass. Every glass is unique. We just make these layers of abstraction so that we can insert them in our narrative. See? But neither do I need to know the label or the label of what it contains. Just like a little baby can drink. Let's go to Satsang.
Namaste, Ananta-ji.
Namaste, namaste.
There was an ambulance just 20 minutes ago. I'm just narrating what just happened because I have a heart condition, which is a stent. So there was a little bit dizziness for 2 days. So and there was a lot of fluttering.
Oh.
And of course comes the fear with it. And I have always a choice to act on the fear. But then there is that thing to take care of the vessel. So I called in, and then they do the normal ECG, which normal. It turned out to be normal, everything, which is a good thing, I guess. There's a lot of. Last time we talked, there's a sense of grief always on the door. I don't know what this grief is about, really.
But you know it is grief.
It's just sadness. It's sad.
But you know it is sadness.
I don't really relate to the question, so sorry, say again.
Okay, let's try to meet again on this. So you said, I don't know what the grief is about. And I asked whether you really know it is grief. Then you said, oh, yeah, it's kind of like a sadness. And then I said, yes, like you know it is sadness.
There's that reference. If there are tears, it has to be sad. Something.
Exactly. So, but this is not true. No? Even in your life, you see, I'm not saying. So this is exactly. Thank you for saying this, because this is what I was trying to illustrate through the glass and water thing. Now, the experience, the sensation that you're experiencing, does that get amplified by your label saying grief or sadness, or does it get diminished?
If there's a labeling, then there's further labels to that. If it call it grief, and then there's a further labeling of trying to get rid of grief, or grief should not be there, and those kind of things.
Exactly. Very good. Exactly what I'm saying. So every label that we have carries the baggage of our personal dictionary.
Further labels to the label. Yeah.
All the dictionary, every time. So in our story, like I experienced grief then first time when I was this so many years old, and then this happened, and then so that label itself becomes very oppressive.
Yeah.
So, and that avoids a true meeting. Like if you look at the perception, you see, and okay, do the experiment with me. Okay, just look at the perception, but keep thinking also this is a glass. It is used to drink water. You see, now is your perception getting amplified by the process of thinking, or is it getting diminished? Do this, okay? Even if it sounds absurd, all of you do this. See what happens. Just perceive this, and then also try to think about it and say, is this a glass? I wonder if that water is clean. Should I drink water? I feel like I'm dehydrated. You see, think all of these things and also perceive the glass.
No, it's not possible, at least in my case.
The glass starts becoming blurry. The glass starts becoming blurry because attention is a limited quantity.
Yeah.
You see? So our experience of living is not amplified by our subtitles. It is actually diminished.
Yes.
You see, and actually, even if the subtitles were accurate, we say, okay, go with the subtitle. But because the multitude of our experience is so high, you see, but our labels are so few, then when we insert this, like this feeling comes, like Guruji has this beautiful example. He says that our habit to say, okay, this is anxiety. But you could be experiencing a very similar sensation when you're excited about going for a holiday. You see? So then we say, no, there's so much excitement. You see, but when we put ourselves in a construct that I have stage fright, if that same similar sensation is coming, and we say, oh, I have so much fright, I have so much fear right now. But we don't actually notice the qualitative distinction in the sensations that we are experiencing. Every moment of this living experience is unique. But our labels are so limiting and primitive that when we define ourselves in those ways, it can feel like, why is my life like this? This fear just keeps coming back again and again. You see, but what you are experiencing, you will never experience again. You never step into the same river twice. You see, now if it helped you in some way, you see, if there was a life's instruction manual based on, oh, if there is fear, do this. If that's what all of us are searching for in some way, that I just want to make a life's instruction booklet saying, if this appears, do this. If this comes, then do this. But there is no such template to life. So in which way does our living experience get amplified by our narratives about what something is?
And I think there's also that idea, if one recognizes one true nature, then sadness disappears, or there will be no tears, or you will be happy 24/7. And
this is spiritual oppression. This is how we oppress ourselves with spirituality, with spiritual notions. So are you aware now?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Well, so that is the only way you will recognize yourself ever. You see? So you recognize yourself. Now what should change on the screen of consciousness because of that?
Yeah.
Absurdity, no, it's absurdity.
So in the way you put it out, in the way you express. So you can say there's tears, and the moment we say
Why
tears,
do you have to frame? Like, are we writing an autobiography? Why do you have to frame what is happening to your life in a conceptual construct? We feel like that is understanding. It is not understanding. We feel like that helps us determine what to do. It doesn't, because you don't know how to move a finger. What is to be done is going to be done anyway. That which you take yourself to be does not know how to move a finger. And that which is already doing everything is already doing everything.
so basically what you're saying is the narrative, what we are constantly talking about, the little me narrative, that's where the crux is, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. Now,
It's all about me, the little me, or however you want to
but
call it.
now don't even understand this. Just drop it cold turkey. You see, what will happen is that we will look for the negating narrative, which Vedanta provides with an eti of everything, and then provides with a no to everything. You see, but the negating narrative also has to then be dropped.
Hmm.
You don't have to frame your life in any idea of life. That is to be open and empty. That is to be in the unborn. That is to be in the no mind. You don't have to put that in these concepts. Is it? Now the mind will trouble you, say, but what's really happening to me right now? So accept that that questioner is just a questioner. And any answers that it can understand are not answers.
Yes, when you speak it, because you're bringing it really out for me. Actually, I'm not able to do it, but you're doing it. Exactly what is happening now. Always
Don't frame your life in any construct, including this one. You don't need to understand. You don't need to know. You already know. Where you don't know, you can never know. Or where you're trying to know, you can never know. Don't squeeze anything into your head. Nothing will get squeezed in there anyway, except narratives and concepts and notions.
so basically it's staying empty.
No, no, just no.
Mm.
Why do you need that determination? For what?
One cannot speak much then.
No, 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 no. Why sages come to satsang and speak for hours and hours? No? From the heart, it's okay. Just no. Don't frame life in any construct.
Being dumb.
No, no.
Very vulnerable right now.
You see, if you start making sense to yourself, you're going in the wrong direction.
Hmm.
don't make any sense. It doesn't mean that now the sensible approach is to try and speak nonsense. That is also trying to make sense.
The thought is now, what should I say? Then there's
So
nothing to say.
what? So no. Is your expression of what the thought is saying because you're valuing it or because you're not valuing it?
Sorry, I didn't get the
Is
last
your
part.
expression about what the thought is saying because you're giving value to what it is saying or because you're giving no value to what it's saying? Because subtly this can happen. You know? We want to express as if there could be truth value in that thought. So we say, Ananta, just the thought is saying, but we want actual validation or invalidation of the thought to happen from me. So what if the thought is saying? Let's say job is to say. It'll say all kinds of rubbish. It'll say, but now I can't speak then how to say anything. It's not true. None of this is true. It is just feeble attempts to frame your life into a conceptual idea, which is nothing but a story. It's not that I don't want to hear what you have to say. It's not that I don't want to hear what you have to say. I'm just giving you the tool by which you can be free from suffering. Because we are valuing this little narrator, the narrative, and we are missing our life. If you can say anything true about this moment, please do. Don't frame anything. Don't frame anything at all. Thoughts are nothing but frames on offer from the mind with which to define your life. They're nothing but frames by which to define your life. But your life is too vast to be defined in that way. And it's absurd actually that in the human condition we are missing it. It is missing it. I've been sharing this with those that are here that I was in the office the other day and somebody had got their pet to work, a dog called Leo. And I met this dog Leo and it was like two dogs are meeting. Like I could see there's no thinking happening there. There was no thinking happening here. There was just like, so we were fully with each other. But when I engage with humans, usually it is like something, then like, what do you think about that? Like that. Saying something, some recycled stuff. You see, we remove the freshness from our life in that way. You see? And then we try to be spontaneous. It becomes a new planet. Dog is not trying to be spontaneous. Like the new mantra becomes, I only live spontaneously. But that's the new bondage.
Can the dynamic life go on then?
See, this is how we trouble ourselves. We categorize dynamic life, spiritual life, practical life, real life, satsang life, work life. Life is just life. Even life is not even life.
Mm.
Like the label life cannot convey life. And then not only do we accept a false label life, then we subcategorize and say satsang life is like this. This is okay for spirituality, but in my practical, I have to. We make all these excuses for the mind. So today, just no. Who takes over when there's practical life? The God that is running this life goes away, some other like work God comes. Yeah. Or this God that you're discovering in satsang, that one cannot like do any work. You see, he's only running this entire universe, you see, effortlessly. My work. Who needs this distinction between work life and life or spiritual life? Just so that we can put ourselves in one construct. At work, I'm like this. In satsang, I'm like this. You see, just so that we can narrate. Nothing, only trouble ourselves. What do you have to understand? What has understanding gotten us? We've only enjoyed those moments where we are empty of understanding. Have we enjoyed those moments where we're just like, yeah, mountain, river, mountain. It's only me.
Thank you.
Very well. Okay, let's go to TV.
You said they never experience the same moment again. So you kind of said that fear and anxiety, these things don't even exist.
Yes, what that label is pointing to,
It's amazing.
yeah, it is very little constructs about a.
In this way, you are wasting your life.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
No.
Logo. Just perceive the perception. Just perceive the perceptions. Those perceptions, we can just communicate with the innocence of a child about what is being perceived. That will be good. It's very good actually. If you don't have the words, to frame all of this, then I'm very happy.
I can see the words, but I'm trying not to go there.
Okay, now find a word that fully conveys what is happening to you. I want to meet such a word. It should fully capture your experience in this moment. You can even use a sentence. not just a word. Fully. Everything that is in your perceptual experience, in your perceptions, you must be able to convey through words. Can we do it? So the idea is not to run away from words. The idea is just to see that they are too limited to define even my phenomenal experience. The non-phenomenal, of course, is beyond.
As you were speaking today,
Yes.
like I can see how much this tendency of interpreting and concluding, and like you say, framing all the time, thinking I know what is.
Yes.
And yeah, like
Very happy
what I felt to
hear this report.
what I feel to say is like what is like strongly believed many times, and it's very difficult to see through it, is like this idea of like failing at satsang, like this story that I had a chance and I could see, and then I picked up something, or I did something wrong, and or I was very arrogant, and this is very strong, like this bad person, you know.
Yes.
And somehow I can't, it's very tricky when it comes, like I can be days in such a strong turmoil and just believing like this negativity and feeling like I can't get out of it because I'm too close and I'm not open, and and sometimes even I feel like there is this feeling like, what's the point of watching satsang, because there's so much resistance. And even now speaking, I feel it's from the mind, but I have to say it because
I'm very happy, firstly, that you heard in satsang, and I hope all of you were doing this along with the one that was coming up for the question, because this is the nature of the human condition. You see? This constant evaluation, evaluating the world, evaluating ourselves, putting everything in these frames of thoughts and narratives. You see? None of it is true because it cannot be described that way. Your one moment of your experience cannot be described that way. Right now cannot be described that way. You see? And yet we pick up these such broad sweeping strokes. I am so arrogant. I was like this. I was. Nobody like that has ever lived.
yes, like I screwed up and I'm so beyond repair and so beyond help, and like, you know, it's like so like it feels such a burden, like, oh my god, I have to correct all these things, and it feels like such a burden. And of course then you get depressed because what you can do with this thing.
Of course, of course.
But actually I have to say, like sometimes I remember you saying like nothing is true, even like you said in this satsang, like the best story is not true, but even the worst story.
Of course, of course, of course. Why I
And
say
there is some doubt
because,
there, but it, yeah.
why I say best story usually is because that is the one we don't surrender. No, usually we surrender like, oh, Father, can I just surrender the story of arrogance? Can I surrender the story of suffering? Can I surrender the story of relationship? Something. But nobody says, I want to surrender the story of the moment where I had a full awakening.
Yes. Yeah,
You see? So we want to pick and choose and say, no, that really happened. That is really true. But all that, that's why I say I always pick on the highest idea because of that. Because those we don't willingly surrender because we got it all wrong. We think that these are things these are the frames and constructs which are helping us, but they're not helping us. They are the ones that can be poked actually. Our special stories are the ones that can be poked more.
and I want to ask you something else, like maybe I asked you before, but it's like very everyday, like because I have this state which is like also like a mental condition, like it's called depersonalization, when you feel like a dissociation from your body. You feel like you're like stuck outside, and it's like very strange to live with this. Like you when you say pure perception, for me is like a wall between me and like this, you know, like I'm stuck in this. Like now, of course, there's more. This is more evaluation, no, but it feels like this is my experience of
Yeah.
day to day, you know, like this kind
So
of
what is it
dissociated
that you
state.
perceive? What is it that you perceive? It doesn't feel like, what is it that you perceive? It doesn't feel like you're perceiving, like it doesn't feel like sight is through the eyes, hearing is through the ears. Is it like that?
Like it feels like everything is like there is a wall between me and the world. It's like I'm
Yeah,
in this
that's what
weird
you're telling
like
me what it feels like. I want to know what is the actual perception. Like right now, what you're watching this on a phone or a computer or what?
on a phone.
On a phone. So what? How is the phone? What is the phone? What is the difference?
Like I feel like I have to make an effort even to look at this, what you're saying, like to look at things.
Okay,
It's
tell
like
me what is being perceived that is blocking the natural looking.
thoughts, probably, like a strong mental.
Yes,
It's like a veil, you know.
yes. Now observe the perception that we call thoughts and tell me how it is strong or weak. Just because the thought says I am very strong doesn't make it strong. We need to be able to observe it and see how a thought, is there a big thought, small thought, like that? What makes it strong? Is there a Hulk Hogan thought and a tiny thought?
There's like a strong insistence that I'm in trouble, that I have a big problem, you know, and I don't know how to let it go.
Label strong. No, let's look at it today. Let's look at it today very clearly. When we say there is a strong insistence, means because the mind is repetitive, or what makes it strong? What gives it strength?
Because right now I feel, or I believe that there is something wrong with me, like I'm not in my being, I'm not feeling my being, something is very wrong, I can't do it, all these things.
Yeah. How do you know this is your condition right now? How do you know this is your condition? To determine our state or our nature or our condition, is it? Through the lens of the mind, is like to try and see the world more clearly by looking at a kaleidoscope. You know kaleidoscope?
Yeah.
So if someone picks up kaleidoscope and says, I want to try and see the world more clearly, but everything is upside down over there. You see? So to try and determine what is happening to me or what my state is or condition is through the lens of these concepts, it's just like that, my dear. How do you know what you're right now?
What? Sorry? What?
How do you know what your present state is? Most of us are trying to solve things which we notice only in the kaleidoscope.
Yes. But sometimes I feel, many times I feel I can't get out of this kaleidoscope. Like I can't find my true place, you know,
Yes,
like
that determination, that framing is also where.
yeah. Yes.
Tell me something that is limiting, which is not just not a frame from the mind.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like this habit is always, and somehow it many times I don't even see through it. You know, I feel like maybe by listening and continuing to follow what you say, like slowly it's becoming more clear and more.
No,
But I don't know.
you have to do the same homework. Don't evaluate yourself at all.
Okay.
Which only means don't buy any frames or evaluations of yourself from the mind.
Yeah.
It's like the same homework you had once before. Like, just don't know. It's okay to not know. It's fine.
And it's okay to not believe this big fail, like I'm such a bad one and I'm so horrible and all these things.
Definitely okay. It's more than okay.
And if there is anything like that in me, I just please help me to transcend whatever is there that needed to be overcome. I don't know.
Just never worry about this in your whole life.
Okay.
Never worry about this at all.
Okay.
In your heart, you know this, that you are just pure light. There's nothing like this. Don't worry at all. Everybody, whatever you feel you're guilty of, just forget about it. It's pure rubbish. No such thing.
It's catching me mostly when there are some interactions with other beings and I feel like some negative stuff inside me, you know, very negative judgments and stuff, and then it comes like, see, you're so negative and
Just notice what we say, negative or positive. It's just the same frames, the same constructs, the same old stuff.
yes.
Be negative in your nose and show me. I want to see a negative nose. It's just in the head, my dear. Don't worry about the head, positive, negative. All these are just opposites in the head. Don't worry about these things. There's no way in which you have to be. Your being is just being naturally. All these ways of being better or worse are just mental constructs. Don't worry.
It was helpful also what you said earlier about seeing the space in which things happen,
Yeah.
because I can see lately like there is a space which is always peaceful, you know, like even if there's turmoil inside, just recognize this space, and this is like, okay, at least I know one thing that is always there and is always
Yes, yes,
peaceful. Like,
yes. Don't know this.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Your being doesn't need to know. Your being doesn't need to know. Your being is that. Rest on any frame. Don't allow your life to be defined by anything at all. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Let's go to Shivoham.
Hello.
My dear.
Hello. I wanted to come. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you for this. The today's satsang was very, 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 very.
And frame it. Okay, something.
Yeah. That was very, very,
Very.
very. Thank you, Devi. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you. The others. Thank you very much. And yeah, I wanted to just to check with you, and I've been seeing. Let's see that the one who's trying to frame and to find and yeah.
Just
and,
remember that you must avoid frames about the frames. Yes.
So
then they will become like meta frames.
I was doing it now.
It seemed a bit like that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Meta frame.
We're just framing the frame. You know, these frames are so framey, you know.
Okay. Yeah, but you know, you
No.
you don't give any space to the mind to express itself.
You can speak. I don't have, like I was saying.
I'm just joking,
Yes,
please.
yes.
I'm
But,
just joking, please. Yeah.
There's a popular notion that without the mind we cannot speak.
Yeah.
It's just a notion. There's nothing like that. It's like for my mouth to move, it has to be from the mind. You know, God can't do it. Like, intuition can't speak.
Just to so even the notion of the one who is identified is a notion.
Yes, every notion is a notion.
Every notion is a notion.
Just like every thought is a thought.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with notion. War is not against notion. The war, if there is one, or the whole axe or the chop, if there is one, is to take ourselves to be that small that a notion defines us. Is telling the truth about us. You see, a notion is harmless, it's just a notion. But when we take it to be the truth, if I look at this plant and say, okay, this plant represents me fully. You say, what? Of course it doesn't represent you fully. In the same way, no notion represents your life, anything that is happening.
So when we try to do this eye watching, let's say, no? Well, actually, is also recognizing from. Well, let's shut up a little bit.
There's nothing that your heart doesn't know. Nothing that your heart doesn't know. Everything is not true for that. And the instrument where we try to find out doesn't have the capacity to meet the answer.
The answer is apparent, as you say, no? It's already. Thank you.
Ananta. Let's go to Adrian.
Namaste. Hello, Father.
Hello, Mala.
Thank you so much for everything that you say, guide us. Yes, I'm very grateful for Satsang and sometimes I observe this thing. Sometimes you say that awareness cannot be more or less, or the self can be more or less, and I sometimes have the feeling that as I let go of the false, let go of my head, I am more of myself. But I think it's an illusion, because it also is related to the concept of time and progress, and
it also could be based on attention. It also could be based on attention. When you're not so much in the mind and you're not evaluating and framing so much, you can feel like, oh, I'm so, like in the world, we would call that I'm so much more aware. See, I'm so much more aware. You see, which means that I'm much more attentive to the perceptions that are showing up. So that is why we make the distinction between the two words. You see? Attention is limited, and you can be more or less attentive about something. But awareness is always the same. It doesn't matter which state is there, sleep state, waking state, dream state. It is untouched by anything. So in the waking state itself, it cannot be more or less because it is completely unchanged. But that, which is the light of the waking state, which is our attention, the attention which is bringing these perceptions to light, then it can seem to get diffused. Because if you're thinking, like we were trying to do with the glass, if you're thinking and perceiving and hearing something at the same time, they never fully with that.
Yeah.
Be more attentive is maybe a nice gift we can give to ourselves, but has nothing to do with self-recognition.
So it means that even when I'm deeply identified with thoughts, the awareness is the same.
Yes, exactly the same, unchanged. It is not. It does not have a quantity or a quality which can change up or down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I noticed that it's good not to evaluate awareness based on feelings of openness.
Yeah.
I mean, open of like more
Yes.
more perspective, more space. You know, I think I used to do that to evaluate how much I recognize my awareness based on how big how universal my perspective is. But yeah, it's as you say, time is just a concept, and progress and
Degrees of awareness, progress, all of this is just conceptual constructs.
yeah. Sorry, I'm very nervous.
It's fine. It's fine. It's completely fine.
Something else that I wanted to share, maybe if
Yes,
it's
yes.
okay.
Of course.
I noticed how I also touched a bit on the subject last satsang.
Yeah.
I noticed that in the animal world, animals can have so many expressions, like even virtues and seem. I mean, that's like some can be very friendly, some can be unfriendly or aggressive, and sometimes I see how animals go through a lot of hardship and difficult, painful things or deaths, and I was trying to feel like if they also have the ability to mature through these difficult experiences. As human beings, I guess that we have a capacity to contemplate or to grow. I don't know about the animals if it's the same, if they have.
Actually, we can't really frame any of that in that construct, but if I was to say something half jokingly, I would say humans have the capacity to get themselves in trouble and get themselves out of trouble. Animals don't get themselves in trouble. We get ourselves in trouble, we lose our innocence, and then we find our innocence again, and we call that maturing.
Oh.
What is our true maturing? When we return to the innocence of a child. Yeah. Yes, of course we are constructing to generally, but as a broad pointer.
Yeah. I guess I was asking this because I've seen like what can happen to some of these animals, like they go through pain, and but I guess they don't suffer so intellectually, mentally about the. I also had a cat for many years,
Yeah.
and one day I lost her. She fell out. She fell from my balcony, and haven't found her again. I was very much attached to her, and always wonder what happened to her. But yeah,
All right.
thank you,
Very good.
thank you, Father.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to Amrita.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste, my dear. Not so audible, but let's try more.
Hello. Now am I
It's
better? Little better.
little better.
Father, lot of things got answered just now. Thinking, but I don't know. It's again the mind question or whatever. There's certain things which get sticky, and it plays out here, and it is seen, and then it doesn't have that much of importance for in that moment. But for certain things, it is seen that it is playing from the deep attachment, or it's playing out from there, and it plays by it, like, and then later it's a, oh, you did it again.
So without this construct, now what is it?
No, it's nothing, but it feels, I mean, there's something which is believed in strongly, or some idea is which feels true at times.
Feels true is we were in the beginning of Satsang. So I was saying feels true is Maya. Does awareness feel true?
No.
What is the difference between feels true and is true?
I mean, that feeling will go, I mean, it'll turn into something, or it'll go, it'll come back. But something with what is.
So if we keep taking what feels true to be true, then we are following Maya.
Okay, so it's true, okay. It's true, but it's not reality, or it's reality, but not true. Something like that. Or it's some.
What seems true, we say, oh, but I know it's the mind, it's not really like that, but it feels so true. You see? But if we go with it feels so true as if it is truth, then we are just going with Maya, because Maya is designed to feel true.
Oh, yeah. So for sometimes for similar things it happens. So it's okay. That is also okay.
Yes, don't make these constructions, patterns, time, causation, all of this, leave it aside. Because all of this just feels true. Are you aware now?
All this become
Yes,
past,
sir.
Father.
But there's some
So what is
sometimes,
the
like,
difference between, okay, one second, one thing at a time. So that awareness, does it feel true?
no.
So stay with that, which doesn't just feel true. It is recognized in the heart as true. And everything else that feels true, know that it is God's beautiful design of Maya. You see? Otherwise, if we spend our life solving everything that feels true, we can never do it. We'll never be free from this.
Yeah, it's something feels very tired of this also. Like
Again,
that is the same thing.
Of course, my dear.
Or the one who's feeling tired is the same one who's
Feels true, seems true, feels tired, feels happy.
Okay, Father, one more question for work. Like probably I'm getting a little more focused for work or something, or getting targets set for myself. Okay, and would want to finish certain things in certain point of time. Sometimes it happens very seamlessly.
Yeah.
There's no effort. There's nothing. Sometimes it feels like I have to really put a lot of effort, which I don't want to put it also. Like there's a little contrast, like very paradoxical. I don't know how to function that way. How to function in that.
Don't make any mental categories.
Sometimes it's important to do.
Why God can't do it without categories from you? Now, I'm not saying that don't do those things. I'm happy to hear that you're working well. There's no problem in any of that. I'm just saying don't categorize, oh, this was so effortless, this was so hard work. Don't make these categories.
Okay, so I don't make this distinction or differentiation.
Yeah. Don't say difficult work, hard work, easy work, effortless work, practical work. I don't know what distinctions you make. Just let life be life. Everything is life. Don't even distinguish between life and work.
Yeah, so there is something here in the head which is, yeah. But it's very strongly believed. If it comes back, obviously. No.
Don't frame yourself in any construct. The self that you recognize, can you frame that in some construct?
No.
Then which self are you talking about? When you frame yourself in some construct, then which self
Then
are you?
there is some desire or I want, or there are some preferences. I mean, these are the things. Desire is also okay, and non-desire also. Ada, I'm talking to you after so many months.
There's no higher pointing. Oh, is this all just camouflage? Saying hello, nice to see you.
Yeah.
Then that's fine. Do you have to frame your life in some notion? This is what is happening to me. What is the use of that?
No, it's useless. It's just what you said. It's like you invite, you create problem, and then you solve it, and then you feel it's that nonsense.
Making so much progress.
Actually, it's so funny, Father. Like very funny.
It's absurd, completely absurd. It's like we taught this mind how to think and evaluate its life. Then we taught this plant, and then like 1 year later, this poor plant is just like, I feel my branches are not coming out well enough. I feel my color is fading. My complexion is going. You see? And then we say, you must come to plant satsang. In plant satsang, you will learn how not to think, how not to believe these constructs about yourself. The plant is fine. It's already like that. It's fine. See, in the human condition, we cause all this trouble to ourselves, and then we rid ourselves of that trouble, and then we say, amazing. What's true? Our beliefs seem true. They feel true. What is the difference between seems true and feels true and truth? That's why we have to draw the line. If we keep going with everything that seems true, then this Maya is never ending. Can you stop being right now? Does that just seem true? If it seemed true, forget it.
Our actual experience is true.
Actual experience means?
Really actual.
Really actual means?
Your experience.
Means? Then why do you have? Well, let it be my question.
It must be true.
Why you have to infer all this?
Because you are not experiencing that which is genuine.
If you use your intellect, you will not reach where I'm pointing to.
So you ask what is true.
What is true which doesn't feel true? I'm not asking you to infer. Okay, what is Anuj saying?
1 second.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste, namaste.
Her mind is stopping her to come in your feet.
Her mind is stopping her?
Yes, Father. There is a possibility is taking place to be in Bangalore,
Ah,
and she is just looking about this much amount we'll spend in 3 days, and that is troubling her.
okay, tell her to talk to me about it. Tell her to talk to me. No, after
No,
Satsang.
I'm just saying it's like a practical thing. Like it's still getting better. I mean, Marisha is landing tomorrow, day after. Anyway, she will come here. So I said, why do I need to spend something extra? I mean, there's a lot of calculation which is coming up.
You write to me after Satsang.
Okay, fine.
Don't.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's go to Helena. Oh dear.
Hello, dear. Happy to see you.
Same.
I just wanted to come up because there's so much turmoil going on for a few days already, and there's also trying to understand what is happening and resistance to it, and
So you can observe that aspect of your being where you're trying to understand, isn't it? You can observe that aspect, which you call the mind, intellect. You can see that is it happening throughout your being you're trying to understand?
sorry, I
Is
can
it?
see that this is going on, and I see that I'm not that.
Yes. So there is something about your being which is unconcerned by trying to understand. Yes. Or your whole being wants to understand.
That I don't know. I just see it happening.
All
And I
sensations,
know it's not true.
all the sensations that you perceive are within your being. You can see this. They're not outside of you.
No, they're not outside.
They're not outside of you. So now, does the perception that you call your hand also want to understand? Does the sensation that you call the hand also want to understand?
No.
If you bring your attention to the sensation that we call the nose, does that also want to understand?
No.
So it is an aspect of your being which we call the mind intellect. No? The mind is what? A bundle of thoughts. The intellect is the evaluative, the judgmental aspect of those thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it. So let that one dance. You don't bother with it.
Yeah.
Let's try doing it together. Okay? And if something grabs you, then you expose it to me that, oh, but I am grabbing that notion. It is true.
There's so many stories that I keep believing.
So drop this one to start with. No self-evaluation, no judgment about yourself. Just open and empty. Open. You see, it may come, but you're not feeding it apples. Let it come and let it go. Just remain open. Allow your attention also to go wherever it wants. It's okay. Anything that you end up believing, you can expose that.
But I try to really look into this week.
Now, these are thoughts, or what are these?
Memories, I think.
These are just frames, no? We've been talking about how we frame our life in these constructs, in these conceptual constructs, that this is what I've been doing, this is what I've not been doing. Right now, can you tell me about yourself, the truths? Tell me in some notion, your entirety of your experience. What are you right now?
That I can say.
And yet we believe so much, no? That this is what happened to me yesterday, then this is what my life has been like. If we can't even say for one moment, how can we make these broad sweeping narratives?
I don't know.
So when we start admitting, I don't know, then we will see that we have to admit that about everything.
It's scary.
Even that you don't know. Don't be scared of I don't know. When you let go of the evaluative tendency, the judgment tendency, the interpreter, then you meet your true intelligence, your Sadguru presence in your heart.
When I try to listen to my intuition, it's not saying anything.
Trust that silence. Trust that silence. It's very important. All knowledge does not come, only in the mind's construct does knowledge come just conceptually. Life is much broader than concepts. See? So some things are not expressible in words, but that does not mean that you're not being guided. That guidance moves the body, moves this universe. That is the intuitive intelligence. So trust the silence. It doesn't always have to come like, do this. Now I'm telling you, do that. That will just make a doer out of you.
Okay.
So When you find yourself believing a construct about your life, a notion about your life, just with full integrity ask yourself, do you really know this? Really know this? All right. Go to Mataji now.
Hello, Father.
Hello, my dear. How is it? Still 40 degrees or what?
Still 40 degrees.
Well, Kalin is wearing a shirt, so it can't be that hot.
He dressed up for Satsang.
Oh, he did? No, I was happy to see the Ramana look.
I just put up my hand to thank you so much for all three of us.
So welcome, so welcome.
And for everything, and just looking back for holding my heart and my hand for so many satsangs. I wouldn't probably be able to stay at Guruji's feet without you. And I don't think any of these two would probably be here either.
Full blessings, full love.
Thank you. I know, thank you.
So welcome. Big hug to all of you. Big hug to all.
Thank you. And I also felt to say something like, to my sisters and brothers who are like, I just want to share that our Bangalore trip for almost a month was such a blessing, and just guys, don't postpone anything for for any reasons.
Great having you all here. It's very beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
May we see that we are one.
May we.
I said, may we see that we are one.
Like, may we.
Thank you.
Maybe forget all maybes. Very good. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Past the point of no return, seen the lies, I've seen them burn. Here to overcome it all, here to rise, I cannot fall. At the edge of you and me, free from mental slavery. Stand alone, one in you, power coming through. I hear you call, the one inside the hearts of all. I hear you call, the one inside the hearts of all. Everyone is in his reach. Everything is here to teach you. Listen for the one in you, one in all. Ever true, I find out what my life is worth. All I love is here on earth. Stand alone, one in you. Power coming through. I hear you call. The one inside the hearts of all. I hear you call. The one inside the hearts of all. And I'll take my chances. The path is lesser known, but he's walking with me. He goes before. Now I hear you call. One inside the hearts of all.
Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki
Jai. Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa ke